2024 is coming to an end, and I am a person who loves reflecting on my year, and the only reason I'm making this video is for the sole purpose of like creating a time capsule of a time where we spent the year renovating a home, and this is how it went, like the unfiltered true explanation of like how it went. So I just love these kind of videos, and I keep hearing like you have to make the videos that you would love to watch or would be interested in watching. So this is how our year went for 2024. So if you are new here, my name is Katelyn. Me and my husband Tyler, we have been renovating an 1890s home majority of this year, or I guess the past like 6 months. It's been full on renovation mode. We have 2 kids. We lived in a camper this summer, and now we are moved into our apartment. So we are renovating this home with the intention of being a rental property for us. And I don't know that I've ever said that on this channel, which I think is so odd. Like, why would I not say that? You see a lot of these renovation series, like they are renovating their dream home. For us, that's just not the case. Like, we are renovating with the intention of it to be a rental for us. This home was perfect for renovating for that because it already had 2 entrances. It had already been one family lived in this house, but it was split between 2 levels. So this had been a family home, you know, like a brother and sister lived here, I believe, and then the brother passed away. The sister didn't want to keep the home, I'm thinking. Anyways, I'm getting into the murky details, which I'm not intending to do here, but I just want to reflect on 2024 and how it went and what renovating with kids was like, camper living, all of that. So this time last year, we just closed on this house, and it was our intention like a full year later to be living in here. And we almost didn't make it, but praise the Lord we did, because I am so thankful that we are living in a place with running water and a toilet and a sink and a full functioning kitchen. It's just so exciting to me. So this time last year, we closed on this 1890s home. It was semi-abandoned. It hadn't been lived in for years, probably since like early 2000s. I always forget the dates and stuff. My husband's totally good about that, but I just forget the dates. The goal by the end of 2024 was to be living in it, and we did that. So 2024 was the year where we committed to living a little bit unconventionally for a portion of the year, and then so we can live better later. So like I said, this is going to be a rental property for us. We're creating 3 separate apartments in this place, and we are currently living in the 2nd floor apartment. It's a cute little functioning apartment right now. I mean, we don't have any trim on the windows. We don't have any trim on the floorboards. But that is the things that like we can do while we're living in here. I mean, it makes it a little bit more difficult, but also that's totally fine with us. I mean, we lived in a camper for the summer, so no judgments here. Overall, I would say this year felt really busy and just a little bit disoriented, dysfunctional. Sometimes I needed to lean on my family a lot, and that's a huge reason why we moved. So if you are new here, I did a video all about how we moved in like the span of like 3 weeks. Me and my kids moved in the span of 3 weeks because I started teaching. So right now I'm on my, winter break with the holidays, and it's just been so lovely. I love that these are like pre-scheduled breaks for me because 1, it helps me like go into the next year feeling very refreshed. And since I'm trying to do like content on the side, it just is a beautiful breaking point for me to just like think about how the rhythms that I've had and routines have been functioning for me. And I love that because, like I said at the beginning of this video, I love reflection videos, and I think that they're so indicative of like what your year was like, and it's just like a little snapshot of how you were feeling at the end of the year and what you're hopeful for in the next year. I'm all about good vibes and stuff. So this past year, I set the intention of, first, I was going to be simplifying. I started by decluttering 85% of the things. That was my goal. 85% of the things that I own was going to be decluttered in 2024. The second thing, I was going to establish rhythms and routines and really solidify planning for this renovation, and we'll talk about that. 3 is to actually like renovate this home and be living in it by the end of the year. So I already spoiled number 3 because we are currently living in here, which is I'm just so grateful to have a table and a kitchen and a functioning toilet and sink, and I'm just like, if I've learned anything in this past year is that I'm just so grateful for the things that we typically take for granted. I'm not trying to get emotional, but like when my husband was installing our sink, I just started crying because I was just like, I can just serve my family so much better, and that just brings me so much peace and joy. And I'm just so thankful. I laugh because like a fully functioning sink is making me emotional and cry, and just like, I'm just so grateful for it. And it might be a silly thing to cry about, but honestly, just all of the different places that we've lived, living in a camper with a smaller sink and a smaller functioning kitchen, it was more challenging for me than I thought it was going to be. And so I'm just so grateful to have like space, a little bit more space. Like, it's not tons space, but it's more space. And that is what feels so good. As I kind of said earlier, the first 6 months of 2024 was like planning our renovation and then also prepping to move. And for me, when it comes to moving, I love decluttering. I appreciate the fact that most of my things have been packed up this year. And as I'm slowly moving things up here, it's just another invitation to reevaluate what I need to function. So I always look at moving as an opportunity to look at all the things that you have in your life. And the beauty of me packing it up for 6 months is that I forgot the reasons why I thought I needed it. So now that I have been living very minimally over the past like 4 or 5 months in a camper, and then just like in and out of bags between my parents' house and here, I can decide whether I would like to keep it moving forward or if I can just let go of it. And that, I think, is just one of my favorite things about moving. Like, we've moved 9+ times probably since me and my husband got married. So like, we moved out of our individual apartments, and then we lived in an apartment together. We bought our first home. Then we moved my in-laws' cabin as we were selling our house, and we were kind of in between places for a few months, and then we decided to move to Kenosha, and then we moved in with my in-laws for a little bit, and then we moved to our house in Kenosha, and then now we moved I moved temporarily in with my parents in Michigan, and then we moved into an apartment, and then we found this home, and then this is where we're at the moment. So count how many times that was. I might have forgot somewhere. And then I've just kind of been like in between the camper and here, so from the camper, it got a little bit too cold for my kids to stay there. So they went with my in-laws for a week, and then we moved in with my parents for a week while we were finishing up the floors and everything. And that'll be coming up in our renovation series. I had to take a little bit of break because I was not able to do it all, and things just like go to the back burner, and that just needed to happen. I just needed to put it on the back burner so that we could move into this place. And now I will be catching up that series as we are now living in here, and that I have more time and capacity to edit videos and get them uploaded. And I'm really looking forward to that. I think I'm going to change a little bit of things that I've been doing in that series. So that's something to look forward to in 2025 from me. I really have been enjoying filming YouTube videos, and I think that I have a lot of room to grow, and what makes an interesting video something that you want to watch. So I learned a lot, and I just enjoy this process so much. Anyways, I'm way off topic. So my initial goal in 2024 was to get rid of 85% of the things that we own, and I probably got rid of 50%. Which is not bad, but as I'm looking into moving things in here, I'm just, as I said, reminded of the fact that we have to move this all again, probably like 3 more times in my life. Hopefully. We'll see how that all pans out after we get this place renovated and whatnot. It's gonna be a few years, but that is the plan for our life, and I'm just really grateful that we found this home to renovate, and which will hopefully bring us some wealth going into the years. So we are just in the in-between building stage of our life right now, and I'm trying to be as intentional about it as I can. If you've been around, you know I'm all about intentionality here and making sure that I'm spending my moments, my time, and stewarding my space well. So in June, when we moved into our camper, the reason we moved into a camper is for us to be on site, and for us, both my husband and I, we need to be a little bit uncomfortable in order for us to get things done. I think it's the procrastinator in both of us that we just can't be too comfortable. Otherwise, we just kind of find ways to live with what we're doing. And then I feel like once it started getting really cold and I didn't want my kids sleeping in the camper anymore, that's when like things kicked into high gear. And that's not to say that like we didn't plan it very well, but like it's just hard renovating a home with 2 kids and 2 working adults. Sometimes I just felt like I was running all over the place and then getting frustrated that things weren't getting done on the house. And you almost can't spend your whole life renovating, but also like if you aren't renovating, things aren't gonna get done in order for us to get moved in. But like other things are happening as well. Like I went back to school. I'm in school full time right now, getting my teaching degree. So we have just things to juggle. So like renovating alone is a lot of work. And then when you add like one person is constantly like checking on the kids or making sure that they're fed, making sure that they're napping, making sure, you know, like there's just other things that happen. Kids that if you don't have kids and you're renovating, probably a little bit easier. Like I think of the 2 people that have been renovating on YouTube that I just enjoy watching, like Jenna Phipps, if you've watched her channel, like she's renovating with her partner and I feel like they just make so much progress. And then Sabrina and Andrew, they're ditching their split. I love that. That's awesome because ditching the split, like we lived in a split home and I would have ditched it. Split level living is not my cup of tea. Like I way would have rather had a like nice beautiful walk-in, like beautiful porch that they have. Those 2 people come to mind because 1, I'm in the renovation space, but 2, I get caught up comparing myself to them, but they also don't have kids. You know, like it's easy for me to see them week to week making progress and documenting it beautifully and like doing all of that. And like for me, like I'm renovating and I have 2 children, a job, a husband. I mean, we have a dog too. And it's just like life is very full and I'm so grateful that I already have my children and that like they're on this journey with us, but it just adds another layer on top of renovating. And I guess that's all I'm trying to say is like, 1, I don't mean to compare myself, but also 2, it's kind of hard for me not to because I'm still all learning. I'm still in like the learning stages of creating content and videos, and that's just the way that it is. So in 2025, I'm giving myself a lot of grace and I'm just trying to fine tune what makes me unique in this space. And obviously renovating with kids is not new, but I don't see a whole lot of people renovating with kids and documenting it at the same time. So if you are, comment in your channel down below because I would love to watch you and cheer you on and share in this journey because I love renovating. I love house projects. I love creating spaces that are intentional and that function really well. And I just hope that that comes across in our videos. The channels that I mentioned earlier, like I kind of feel like they're renovating for their forever home. And like for us, we are renovating for a rental home. So it's just a little bit different. So I guess now that if I talk about 2024 outside of the context of our renovation, I feel like we're in a very sweet season with our children. We have an almost 4 and almost 2-year-old, and they're just, each day you get to see their personalities. And I am somebody who takes parenting very seriously. I'm trying to be very intentional with the way that I raise my kids, and I know that this renovation has been very hard for them because we were in a really good rhythm of, spending time together and being more intentional about the time that I've gotten with them. I guess this year has been like that. Going from being a single mom to, going from being a stay-at-home mom to a working mom was a big transition and change. And then that was obviously a big deal for them. They spent a lot more time with their dad, which is awesome, I think, for them. They are so comfortable with a whole variety of people, which I think is great. And then when they are home with me, I just want to be home with them. So I don't share my kids on here. I'm not going to. I think that they deserve to choose if they want to be a part of this, and I'm not gonna, anyways, I don't think that needs to be said, like, I'm just choosing not to share my kids, and that's great. And I think that that is exactly what I would want my mom to do if she decided to do that. Not that my mom would, but like, you know what I mean. So now that we have like a kitchen and a table and like just a more functioning space, I'm so excited to just restore the rhythms that we had prior to camper living and just kind of settle back into functioning as a family and not having the pressure of renovating in order to move in. And I think this year it's going to be a lot better because we don't have that pressure of we need to renovate in order to have somewhere to live. So now that I'm thinking about, now that 2024 is coming to a close and 2025 is coming up, I feel like I always have a word that resonates with me as I go into the new year. And for me this year is restore or restoration, whichever one. I kind of like the sound of both. But obviously in the literal sense, we are restoring this home. We're bringing it back to life. I mean, restore is to build back again or to build again. And that just couldn't be more fitting, I feel like. And then just to restore the rhythms and the routines that we had prior to this renovation is going to be really, really sweet. Just like restoring our family unit, more family time, some more leisure activities that we enjoy, and really not working on this house constantly is going to be the biggest blessing for our family moving into 2025. Like, I feel like there's going to be a lot that happens in 2025, but it's not going to be as hurried or as much pressure to get it done as it was in 2024. So like the first few months, it's just going to be getting this apartment to function for us. And so there'll be small mini projects, I feel like, and not like these massive, huge, you get plumbing, water, electrical, blah, blah, demo, like you don't have that. So we just can really work on getting these spaces to function for us. And that's going to be that's like my bread and butter. I love it. It's like getting organized, making things functional are just like things that I just love doing and documenting. And it's just one of my favorite things. Like, I'm such a nerd when it comes to organization. It's not like I feel like I'm so good at it, but like I just have a natural inclination of how to make things function really well for me. Making spaces function really well for me and my family is something I love to do. So look for all of that coming in 2025 as I'm looking at mess all that way. But hey, we just moved in. I'm giving myself grace to enjoy the holidays. We're going to be going out of town and it's going to be lovely and I can't wait. And I get to take a little bit of a break from renovating and how sweet that is. I'm so grateful that we have a place to live. I'm so grateful for running water, even though it makes me cry. And I'm just really, really looking forward to restoring and rebuilding. Oh, I'll be turning 30 in 2025, and that just feels like a big milestone. I'm not trying to like make it too big of a thing, but like I feel like my 30s are just gonna be, I'll just get to be a better version of myself and like really solidify who I am as a person. I kind of love that. I feel like each year I just gain confidence in who I am. If you're in your 30s, tell me your favorite things about your 30s. And if you're still in your 20s, like, you go girl, rock on, enjoy your 20s. They're great. I feel like the later half of my 20s have been full on like mom and setting up a home and just refining who I am as a person. Maybe that's another word, refining. Oh, I just love words and language. Good thing I'm a teacher. Okay, anyways, that is what is happening. Who knows? Maybe we'll have baby number 3 in 2025. Who knows? All in God's timing, not mine. Thank you for being here. looking forward to things, all the things that are happening in 2025. And I hope that 2025 is restorative in your own way and refining and rebuilding in its own way for you. We'll see what happens in 2025. But I know the first quarter, we're going to be resting. We're going to be doing mini projects. We're going to be catching up on all the things that happened in 2024. And then I'm sure we'll ramp back up. I'm kind of like very much into like seasonal rhythms and take a lot of inspiration from nature. So we're going to be using these next 3 months to just kind of burrow in, cozy in, and rest, because I think that is well needed over the year that we've had. So I'll keep updating you on the renovation series, and I just want to thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and sending you all the good vibes for 2025. All right, that's cringe. Bye.